All right, we'll take a look. We're now in a new chapter here, simple equations and inequalities, and we're going to be solving simple equations. So, talk about the differences between algebraic expression and equation, and we'll take verbal statements, and we'll also solve those with our properties for simple equations. Okay, so first of all, an algebraic expression is a collection of variables and constants joined by arithmetic operations. So, for example, 2x to the third minus x squared plus 7. That's an expression. An equation is when you have an equal sign involved. So it's equal to something. So let's say it's equal to 14x plus 1. That's an equation. And then the solution to an equation is whatever the x value is that makes that statement true. The addition property of equality says if I have two things equal, 2 equals 2. If I add something to one side, I got to add something to the other side to keep them equal. Same thing with subtraction, right? And then the multiplication property of equality says if I have two things equal, if I multiply one thing by something, I got to multiply the other thing by that same thing to keep them equal, right? All right, let's go ahead and set up some verbal statements and solve each of these. So the first one, a number. So I'm going to call that a number. I'm going to call that x, a variable. Here's number 1. A number decreased by 7, so minus 7 equals 12. And now let's solve that. So we'll just add to both sides. Get rid of the 7, so negative 7 plus 7 gone. So we have x equals 19. There's our solution to that equation. Let's do number 2 here. A number divided by 2 equals 7. Now right now x is being divided by 2, so I'm going to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply this side by 2. So 2 over 2 is 1. If I multiply that side by 2, I got to multiply the other side by 2. So here we have x being 14. Number 3. 3 less than. Now when you hear less than, it's the opposite order. 3 less than twice a number. See how I did that? It's kind of like 3 less than 4. 3 less than 4 is 4 minus 3. 3 less than 4 is 1. All right? So 3 less than twice a number is 2. Equals 2 added to 4 times the number is 2. 3 less than twice a number equals, I'm sorry, I lost where I was at. 1 more than the number. 1 more than the number. And now let's solve for x. So let's get all the x's on one side. 2x minus 1x, 1x. Minus 3, I'm going to add 3. Do the opposite of subtraction there. So I get x equals 4. All right, let's do the next one here. Let me get a little room. Erase these. Number 4. 16 less 3 times a number. 16 less than 3 times a number equals 2 added to 4 times the number. Let's get all our x's on one side. Get your numbers on the other side. So we got negative x equals 18. Divide by negative 1. So x ends up being negative 18. Number 5. 5 less than 4 times a number equals 1/5 of the number. 1/5 of the number. I'm going to write that as x over 5. Same thing. Get all your x's on one side. So you've got, and let me come up here now, I got 4x minus x over 5 minus 5 equals 0. Well, this is over 1. I got to get a common denominator of 5. So 20x over 5 minus 1x over 5 minus 5 equals 0. So now I have 20x minus x is 19x all over 5 minus 5 equals 0. Get rid of the 5. So 19x over 5 equals 5. Notice I'm dividing by 5 here, so let me get rid of the 5, both sides. So 19x equals 25. And lastly, divide by 19. So x is 25 over 19. Alright, let's make a little room here to this last one. Number 6. Half a number, so a number divided by 2, or half a number, equals twice the difference of the number and 2. So 2 times the difference of the number and 12. I'm sorry, not 12. Twice the difference of the number and 12. So let's go ahead and distribute that. Get all your x's on one side. So I'm going to subtract 2x, subtract 2x. So I have x over 2 minus 2x equals negative 24. So get a common denominator. So let's multiply this by 2. So we have x over 2 minus 4x over 2 equals negative 24. So now I can write it as x minus 4x all over 2. And so we've got, clear out some space here. X minus 4x is negative 3x over 2 equals negative 24. I'm dividing by 2. Let me multiply by 2, get rid of it. So I have negative 3x equals negative 48. And now let me divide by negative 3. And x ends up being 16. Negative 48 divided by negative 3 is a positive 16. Alright, the last part here, we're just solving some equations now. So no translating to verbal statements, just a straight up solve. Alright, so number 1, x plus 9 equals 3. Subtract 9 on both sides, so we got negative 6. That's number 1. Number 2, x over 7 equals 14. Go ahead and you're dividing by 7, so go ahead and multiply both sides by 7, and x ends up being, what is that, 98? 14 times 7, number 3. Negative 2x equals 14. Let's divide by negative 2 on both sides, and we get negative 7. Number 4. 2x minus 3 equals 1 plus x. Get all your x's on one side. 2x minus 1x is a 1x. Add 3 both sides. X equals 4. Number 5. 16 minus 3x equals 3 plus 4x. Get all your x's on one side. Get all your numbers on the other side. So you got negative 3x minus 4x, negative 7x, 3 minus 16, negative 13. Now I'm going to divide by negative 7 on both sides. And we end up with 13 over 7 for number 5. Number 6, let me make a little bit of room here. Number 6, 3 times the quantity 2 minus 3x equals 2x plus 9. Go ahead and distribute that first. So I got 6 minus 9x equals 2x plus 9. Get all your x's on one side. Get all your numbers on the other side. 9 minus 6 is 3. And then divide by negative 11. negative 3 elevenths on that. You know what I realized I should have had? Whoops, I wrote this wrong. Just change that to a plus. If you had a minus in there, oh, let's see. If you had a minus in there, you'd get 15 over 11, right? All right, let's move on to the next one. Number 7. 4 times the quantity 2x plus 1. Go ahead and distribute. Combine those like terms. Get all your x's on one side. All your numbers on the other. So we have 5x equals negative 20, and then divide by 5. X ends up being negative 4. Let's do number 8 here. Number 8, I got 2x plus 2. Go ahead and distribute that. It's 2x plus 2. Gosh, look what happens when I get all x's on one side. Those cancel and I have 2 equals 2. Well, then I look at it and I say, well, is that a true statement? That's true. So that means infinitely many solutions is your answer. In other words, any x value will make this true. It doesn't matter what x value you pick. You could have x being 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. It doesn't matter what you pick. If you plug it into the original, it'll be true every time. All right, let's do number 9. So what happens when you get something that's false, like this, 1 equals 2? Well, that's false. That means there's no solution. So it doesn't matter what your x value you pick, it always gives you a false statement. So there actually is no solution at all. And that's it for this section. Thanks for watching. See you next time.